Hello everybody. And getting to be a theme here. Cleaning, getting shrimp tanks that have been neglected a little bit back into shape. Getting them so that they can be cold out. And this tank is the green jade shrimp tank. Looking real good, I think, still. Lots of little shrimp, so that's always a good sign. This moss is just slowly taking back over. And so I'm going to take it all out. And the filters are clogged up. Pretty much. So we got to get that all taken care of. That little shrimp. Green jade shrimp. And about the biggest problem here is duckweed. Ugh, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. But I've showed this trick on here several times on how to get rid of duckweed, and I'll show it on here again real quick. So this is me reclaiming this tank from the plants. Wonder what they're getting at there. Someone must have died. Something. I don't know. Dark green jade shrimp. Over the years I've had them, I've bred them to be dark green because that's the way I like them. So let's get this tank on the road. Let's see what we can do with it. That's where all the kids piled their Christmas stuff. And this is the only tank. This is the front of the house. That's the front door. So this is in the living room, so it actually has like a real stand and everything. Got that. The living room. So it needs to look at least kind of nice. Not sitting on cement blocks, I guess. Okay, time to get at it. So every time I do this to a tank, the first thing to do is to suck the duckweed out. I got the shop vac ready. I'm going to show you how I do this. I've done it before on here. There's lots of new people. So this is how this works. Okay, so we've got most of the duckweed. It's not perfect, but we've got most of it. And so now we're going to start removing out this moss. Look at this thing. This is pretty awesome. This Anubias has flowered. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's still opening, I think. I think that one's open. It's either opening up or it's seeding. Might be seeding. I'm not sure. There's another couple back there. This Anubias is pretty awesome. There's a big old piece. I put it in here probably a year and a half ago or so, or 2 years. I don't remember. It's been a long time. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we've got lots of, I might add more green jade shrimp. I do red shrimp. Look at that guy. He's pretty awesome. I've spent a lot of time, effort, and even money on getting these guys to be where they are. These guys are pretty awesome. There would be a coal. Okay, so like I said, the next step, that one, and that would be like a male call right there because he's that solid color real good. He's not horrible, but we're not talking about calling right now though. I like to get sidetracked. So we're going to start taking out all this moss. I left a patch of it back there, and now it's just kind of consumed the nubius, consuming the crypts, and then pieces of it broke off. Got up there, and then the good thing, I guess my filters aren't completely blocked. I got this light up out of the way because they are running. You couldn't hear them trickling before, because all the moss and gunk had grown up to the intake there. And now this Alka Clear, it barely runs anyway. It's like 12 years old. But this thing, this filter it runs pretty good. It's clogged up. But all we got is 4 smallish long fin plecos and lots of shrimp and plants, so probably don't even need a filter in here. Well, I do. They should probably have a filter, but that's a whole other discussion. There would be a bad shrimp right there. It's kind of weird because you get those shrimp like that, and here they look almost clear. Then you put them in the call tank and they look green. So I got some oddballs in here that need to come out. Not a whole lot. I did this tank not that long ago. These guys breed pretty true, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's get busy on this moss. Okay, so that took a bit. And there's still little bits of moss in here. There's a patch out there that's all shaded out. You see how this is still barely green? I want to leave that in there and that will grow back. And all these there's little wild strands that I'll miss, I'm sure, and there'll be little moss patches that grow up. That crypt was completely shaded out. Look at that Lutea crypt. Looks like crap. And then this one, Deadeye crypt right here. Looking awesome. I think I might have more green jade shrimp than I do anything else. I mean, it's pretty wild. And they're everywhere. And then this is the moss. Now I went through meticulously, tried to make sure there wasn't any shrimp. But look, I'm sure there's probably 20 shrimp in there. I sat there and picked and picked and picked. There's one right there. Like as soon as he hits the water, he'll come back to life. There he goes. So I've already arranged for someone to buy all this moss Hey, look at it. That's a lot of moss. So there we go. Whenever I do big projects like that, I know I gotta get rid of a bunch of plants. I always try to find a buyer. This is, and I have a long time watcher, become a friend of mine. He's gonna buy this moss up. So now the next thing I'm gonna do is, when you get all that stuff stirred up, some more duckweed got broke loose. So I'm gonna do another round of sucking up duckweed. I'm gonna do a big water change and clean out these sponge intakes. And that's the next step. Duckweed is not perfect, but it's at a level I can tolerate. So now, I'm gonna grab out the old python and suck out enough water to do a big water change to where I can safely remove these sponges. And get them cleaned out. Man, there's some good shrimp in here. I love these guys. Alright. So we can get these fun little, I don't think the the aqua clear, I hope I said ever clear. I don't think the aqua clear will get a whole lot better, but this one will. So let's see what happens when we clean out the pre-filters. Now we're waiting, aren't we, Ava? Now we're waiting. We're waiting, right? Waiting. Waiting for the python to do its thing. Okay. Lots of fun here, exciting. We're waiting. There's the cat that never gets on camera because she is always in the front of the house because she, I don't know, she don't like me. She likes everyone else, but she don't like me, and I don't care much for her, to be honest. But Ava, my daughter's dog, she's pretty cool. She's a weird looking dog. She's pretty. She acts and has the body shape of a border collie. She's big and has the fur markings of an Australian shepherd. So she's big and has the markings of an Aussie, but everything else about her is a border collie. Alright, enough talk about dogs and cats, right, Ava? Let's get back to the fish and shrimp. Okay, water's going back in. Water ain't high enough yet up on this filter yet. But look how good that's running with how low the water is. Gonna take sponges down there. It started running as soon as I hooked that filter back on. So it's gonna be flowing real good when it gets filled up all the way. And we're waiting on this one. Let's see what it looks like when it gets full enough for that filter to start running. And there she goes. This thing just purged a bunch of air bubbles too. It's running pretty decent. That thing just goes like a crazy. So I guess that sponge was pretty clogged up. They were pretty backed up. They were gunked up pretty good. Yeah, you see there's just little pieces of stray moss here and there. I'll probably leave that in there, and it'll eventually I bet you in 4 or 5 months, I'll be full of moss again. So we'll let this finish filling up, then we'll take a final look and see how it ended up. Alright, so now we're done. Look at the flow coming out of these filters now. Pretty crazy. Look at this Anubias. It's turned into a monster. That is pretty bad. Yes, that is awesome. And then hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of green jade shrimp. One of the videos coming up will be calling these guys. That'll be one of the next. Might sneak in a guppy pond video. There's one I would call out. These guys call pretty much like the blues, except when I first got this line I always called for dark. So that's why they're so dark green. I like them a lot. So there you have it. 75-gallon green jade tank. Tidied up. Ready to go. I do this in this tank a couple times a year. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, and big bucket of moss. The moss might need to be done every 2 or 3 times a year, but as far as that goes, in fact, I think this sponge on the Aqua Clear, that might have been the first time I cleaned that one out since I set this up as a shrimp tank. And that's coming up on like 3 years, I think, since this has been a green jade tank. 2 or 3 years. And I think I cleaned this one out. This one got clogged up kind of fast because the flow is so high on it. But there you have it. I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty good, and I just gotta do my water changes and feed them. That's all there is to this tank. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.